Segment 2, Golden Black Live, Life, well, Life and Live, it's all part of the same thing.
Already one of those days you weren't even up for the 6 a.m.
Yeah, well, I was up at 5. I was on
Oh.
television at 6 a.m. this
Oh.
morning. But you were up earlier
So
than
it's
us.
okay.
We're not going to argue on here. But Coach DeAndre Smith is with us. So great to have you join us.
Glad to be
And Stacy Clarity, and we look forward. We've been, like I said, heading into the segment, really have enjoyed the opportunity to kind of get to know you guys and welcome you to West Lafayette and Purdue, and that's a good thing. And and if you have questions for the coach, fire them at me, and I'll put them on as well. I want to thank our sponsors, Triple X, which is Greg and Carrie Ayersman, on the hill but on the level, a Purdue tradition since 1929. I don't know whether the coach has been there yet, but I mean, he's going to get there at some point in time, I'm going to guess. Hilton Garden Inn, when tomorrow's a big day, stay at HDI tonight. And, of course, State Farm agent Trent Johnson and John Basham and the good folks at Basham Reynolds. Well, welcome to Purdue, and I know you just have been twiddling your thumbs here the last few weeks, but it's been a flurry of activity. 6 a.m.s this morning, so you guys always get just chock full of extra sleep anyway in your line of work.
Of course, I had it stored up for a little bit, but I will say I'm impressed. Stacy was there this morning. Didn't know who she was at the time, but got a chance to see her off on the side when I was coaching the guys up a little bit, But yeah, it's actually exciting time for me because this was the first opportunity or second opportunity to actually get my hands close to the guys and coach them up, and they can hear my voice and things like that. So it's exciting for me.
Did they hear your voice this morning? Did you holler just a bit?
But I'm a little disappointed because a couple of guys they've lost their voice already. I have not, so I don't think they really understood exactly what they're going to get into right now.
Yeah, they're gonna learn quickly what they're going to get into. Stacey.
Absolutely.
We kind of joked, but I wasn't really joking when I said I went to Northern, and I'm going to ask you about that, like right off the jump. So you spent 4 years there with Joe Novak, who I love.
Absolutely.
And then you left, which was sad. I don't know why you ever would.
Right.
But, I mean, just the talent that you had there, too. I mean, have you ever been a part of something where it's just like guy after guy after guy? I mean, you had 4 straight 1,000-yard rushers there. Michael Turner was there, an All-American. I mean, just that experience alone.
Well, it was a great experience for me, especially as a young coach. When I first started out, that was my second full-time job.
Right.
But Coach Novak, one of the best coaches I've ever been around. I know there's a lot of different ways to do it, and the way he did it was great. From building a program, recruiting standpoint, I thought he did an excellent job that way. But as far as the talent, I have not been a part of any program like that. Now, Illinois, I had a couple talented young men there,
did.
but for the string of guys that people really never got a chance to know at Northern is unbelievable because I can go 7, 8 deep running backs when I was there, and they were all pretty talented.
I was there when we had lost the nation's longest losing streak, so you got in for the good times.
Yeah, I came in my first season was the first season he had to win the season at 6-5, and then of course the rest is history. But what was ironic now is most people don't know Northern being that type of program, and one team that we could never beat was Toledo, and now Toledo can't ever beat them. So it's come full circle. But I'm happy for the program.
Yeah.
I still keep in contact with Coach Novak because he's just such a tremendous person, tremendous man. So I'm very thankful for that opportunity.
Yeah, I could talk about that all day, but we won't because I know nobody cares like I care.
Right.
But that was your first running back's job. I mean, you were a quarterback.
Quarterback, yes, and most people don't know that I was a quarterback because I've been coaching running backs for so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of those. It was kind of scary because I've been a quarterback my whole life as a player and things like that. And when I got a chance to coach, have an opportunity to coach, I was a little nervous because I didn't know anything about coaching running backs. But again, to Coach Novak's credit, he said, "Hey, I'll teach you whatever you need to know. I just want a good man to be with my kids." And fortunately, it worked out.
And you were a good quarterback. Let's not just say, I was a quarterback.
Oh, well, I tell people that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. But no, I will say I played with a lot of great teammates at that time.
Did you rush for more yards than you threw for in your career?
I sure did. But I was a option quarterback.
Like,
and so
dual threat.
I
Dual threat. So
I will say I have the I guess the single passing game record in school history, so I am proud of that. Now, the passes didn't go very long, but hey, it still chalks up as a lot
It's
of
all
yards.
about results.
No question.
The secret sauce, maybe at Northern Illinois, and you've had some in your young career, a lot of different experiences. You're going to need to be a turnaround agent here and try to get this program to back to having confidence and winning. What have you learned in that, and what do you think you bring to the table in terms of what can help build that positive energy to get the boat turned around here?
Well, I have seen it before, kind of building this thing and actually coaching really good, talented kids. And I know from what I've heard and then just watching film the last few weeks I've been here, there's a lot of talent here, and I'm excited about that. And I've learned a long time ago, you're a pretty good coach if you have talent.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt about that. And these young men, they work at it, they're conscientious, and that's going to help. And I ask that if they just listen and we both work together, we'll be able to do some great things.
It's still a generally young core,
Yeah.
though. I mean, Markel Jones is coming back. He's your leading rusher, but he's only a sophomore.
Right, right.
And a lot of those guys are underclassmen. Are there different challenges for you than coaching generally a young group of guys?
Well, I tend to, last year at Syracuse, for instance, my starting tailback was a freshman, true freshman.
Yeah.
And so when you can speak to a young man about playing younger kids and help develop them, they're still hungry enough, or you can mold them and kind of get them into situations and get them to understand how to work to give them a chance. So I think it actually helps me that they're younger as opposed to being older, because a lot of times older players they're kind of stuck in their ways.
Right.
These guys are still trying to learn the game, and because I've been there before, I'm hoping that they'll listen, and that we'll actually do some great things together.
And obviously with Coach Malone, Terry Malone, and building up that offense, have you gotten far enough along to kind of get an idea of what he's going to bring to the table and how your skills are going to mesh with that, but also your running backs are going to mesh in his offense?
Well, we're going to still continue to run the football, and we'll definitely do that. So
Yeah.
I do know that's going
There you
to
go.
that's a nice
You have
little marriage.
worked.
Yes,
That's good.
yeah, that marriage is working out just fine that
Yeah.
way. Love Coach Malone. We're going to do this thing together. The whole offensive staff. There's a lot of input from all the coaches on the staff. I've worked with Coach Funk, our new offensive line coach. He was at Northern as well.
Oh, he was?
Yes, so he's been
Get him maybe next week.
yeah,
so
so he's been part of a kind of turnaround situation and understand how
Yeah.
to, in the run game, get the guys up front. So it's a whole inclusive effort from the quarterback play. Of course, I work with Coach
Yeah.
Lester at Syracuse. So when you put those pieces together, along with Coach Malone, Coach Parker, we're going to be fine. I'm really, really excited about the things that we'll be able to do next season.
You've had a lot of 1,000-yard backs that you've coached. Do you prefer a workhorse? I mean, as much as you can prefer that, I mean,
Right.
not being the coordinator, I suppose,
Right.
but do you prefer a workhorse kind of guy, or do you like a 1-2 punch? Or, I mean, if you
Well-
could choose.
Well, what's been interesting, of all those 1,000-yard rushers, I played 2 or 3 other guys as well. So Michael Turner, even though he was our top guy, still had backups, Garrett Wolf, those guys behind, that still were able to contribute. So because we have a lot of guys, I would think there might be a lead back,
Yeah.
but there'll be some guys that'll kind of help take some of those hits off. This is a physical game, but I still think that you can have a dominant guy and still have guys that have roles that can be able to help us.
How many, I know you don't know personnel quite as well yet, so I don't want to go too far down that path, but when you look at Markel Jones and what he did last year, a young guy, confident in his ability, but then, some of the guys who left, like, maybe let's knock him down a couple pegs just to keep that. You had mentioned hunger, but, like, how do you do that with a guy who has had success already in his young career, but can certainly get better?
Well, I will say this. I have a motto. It's all about what have you done for me lately. And really, and now you hope that a kid will take that and say, okay, that's a challenge, in that regard. And really, that's what it is. Yeah, he had a great freshman year, and we're all excited about the potential that he can have moving forward. But at the end of the day, it's you have to kind of continue to do that.
Right.
And again, that kid is a great kid. He hasn't
Yes,
shown me
he is.
anything
Yeah.
other than, hey, I'm gonna keep working and I'm gonna try to get better.
Right.
On the other hand, I have some other guys that want to play too, so that competition really helps.
Yeah.
That is the name of the game, I think, in terms of that. And anymore in the world of college football, it's tough you got to have a stable of backs. I mean, you can't just do it alone with injuries and all that. Coming to Purdue, and I always am interested in what people's perceptions were of Purdue before you took this job, and how that's changed in the short time you've been here. I mean, Purdue is obviously an interesting place and a different place, and a different place for you. But what did you always think about Purdue when you were maybe at Northern Illinois? What did you think about? What was your?
Well, he was at Illinois too.
Yeah,
so
obviously, and you've
Yeah.
been here several times.
Right,
But
of course.
what was your perception before, and what is it now?
Well, before, I've never had a lot of success against Purdue. I was at Miami
Yeah.
of Ohio, or Miami University in Ohio. So gotta get
You
that.
gotta get
yeah,
that
gotta
right.
get that
You can't
right.
call them Miami of Ohio
But we,
anymore.
we lost here.
That overtime game, so that
Yeah,
in 2006.
Yeah,
okay.
so we lost
Yeah.
in that overtime game. Then at Illinois, we lost my second year. At Illinois, we lost here. So I have not had a lot of success. So from that standpoint, I always known Purdue to be a very tough program to play against. And since I've been here, it's a great place, a lot of great people. The potential's there, which gets me excited about what we have moving forward. So really being here now, it's enhanced what I've already known about the place. That we're just one season away from kind of being where everybody wants us to be.
You have different styles of running backs. You're going to have that anywhere you go. But with that aside, you're going to have a fast guy or a more physical guy. But what are the absolutes for you in terms of what do these guys have to be,
They gotta be-
regardless of their style?
They got to be tough. They got to be tough. They got to be physical. Got to be able to protect, and they got to hold on to the football. And I might hold on to the football first.
Yeah.
Take care of the quarterback. But you got to be tough. I've been fortunate. I coach some really good, tough, physical football players, and that's the name of the game. And of course, a lot of our guys have those attributes right now. So that shouldn't be an issue. But that's what I look for, regardless if you can make a guy miss or you can run through tackles, whatever the case may be. But you have to be tough to play this game and be a guy that'll play for me.
Holding on to the football, and how do you, especially with young guys, in both, yes, DJ Knox and Markel Jones had fumbles last year, not an inordinate number, but how do you deal with that issue? I mean, from a coaching standpoint, in terms, you emphasize it, obviously it's priority number one, but what's that coaching regimen with them in terms of throughout the course of the season to make sure that gets done?
Well, it starts with fundamentals. So even right now, we don't have a football,
Right.
but you can talk about those fundamentals and just how you carry the ball, and you just emphasize it every single time that they touch the football, that you're always constantly reminding them of how important that thing is. And of course, we have a motto that the ball is the program, and you have to understand that that's what's key. And you can't play if you can't hold on to the football. So it's a constant, every single rep reminder, and I grade them on it.
Yeah.
Every single time the ball is away from their body fundamentally, then there's going to be some reminders to kind of help those guys do the
Pleasant
right things.
reminders.
Yeah, pleasant reminders.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's all
Pleasant
positive.
reminders. But it's something that you have to emphasize, and it's something I coach every single play.
What kind of a motivator are you? I read a story that with LeSure at Illinois, you kind of went up to him before a big game against Northwestern and basically just said, "We need you to play really
Yeah,
well."
yeah.
He did. He got rushed for like 350 yards, which is outrageous.
He had a great game that way.
But you're not shy to maybe challenge guys and motivate them?
No, not at all. Well, I like to think our relationship, that
Yeah.
when you build trust with young men and you show them that you really care about them, not just as a football player, but as a person. And then I give those guys, it's a two-way street. We have great communication, so they can kind of communicate things with me, and I do the same. And when you develop trust, usually you can kind of come, and I treat, they're men, right? I mean, they're young men, but they're men, and we have those kind of conversations. But that particular game, it was like, hey, this is do or die. We needed him to have a great game, and he probably had one of the best games in Illinois history, especially in that stadium. I think he had did something that Gale Sayers hadn't been seen since then. So, but that was a great moment. But I like to think, because of the trust I developed with my guys, that we can kind of have those conversations, and I can motivate them. Because again, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to do what's best for them.
And that is motivation's obviously a key factor in how it ties obviously close to production and getting that done. You look at some of the other guys that we've obviously talked about DJ Knox and Markel Jones, and yet everybody has a shot at this point with you. I mean, what are you going to look for in some of the guys, the redshirt guys, Terrio Fuller, others that may have a chance to emerge? What do they need to do in spring ball to leave that impression on you?
Well, they all have a clean slate. So that was that was the absolute first meeting that I had with the group, because I really didn't know those guys. And again, because last year was last year.
Yeah.
So again, you're looking at the work ethic, you're looking at dependability. I'm a big believer in what you're doing off the field dictates what you do on the field.
Yeah.
So from going to class and things like that, not being on any list, those things all factor into, hey, me developing an impression of those guys. So right now, they're just kind of building their resume, so to speak, with me on if I can depend on them on and off the field.
Right.
So they have time, and I'm just getting to know them, and these morning workouts really help. Who's competing, who gives in, and things like that. So it'll be an ongoing process, but right now, I'm just, hey, it's all clean slate. It's totally up to you on how you want this thing to turn out.
I love asking coaches that I've never met before and don't know, what's unacceptable to you? You know, for those guys, a lot of them, it's lack of effort. But I'm just like, what is it for you that you just don't tolerate?
Well, absolutely lack of effort. That is, because you shouldn't have to ever coach effort.
Right.
So lack of effort is a big thing, and just being dependable. That's another one that really, because again, I like to look at what they're doing off the football field. And because, again, if I need you to carry the ball on 3rd down or 4th down and 1 and get it, or you put the ball on the ground, then that kills me as well. So, and the trust and the communication. Again, I like for guys to be trustworthy that way.
How much are they kids now different than when you played? I mean, is that easy? Is it a night and day difference in terms of what motivates them? How do you view that at this point? I mean, you're not an old guy, but you're at a different tier.
Well, yeah, it's totally different now, and I say that they have a lot more things to deal with social media and exposure and things like that. Where back when I played, some of the things we were probably doing, we would probably be in a little trouble right now. So, but I think from just the exposure that these kids are dealing with now, and really how much they're getting praised, I think sometimes puts them at a little bit of a disadvantage in understanding what it really takes to succeed at this level. So I think it's different from that standpoint as well, that these kids, sometimes you have to kind of re-recruit them, or I guess de-recruit them.
And then turn them on.
De-recruit them to get them to understand that, hey, there's going to take a little bit more once you get to this level.
Is your son a senior?
He'll be a senior next year.
At Duke?
At Duke, yes.
How much, I mean, I know you played against them when you were at Syracuse a couple years ago, which is, I'm sure, really cool.
It was a big time experience for me, yes.
What's it like now that you're not around him as much, and I mean, how much are you able to watch him then?
Well, with technology, that's the greatest thing ever. And ESPN 3, I actually can take that into the press box, or if the game is at a different time, I can be in the locker room. And at Syracuse, our head coach, his son played too, so we're both with our iPads watching the game.
Nice.
So when I can't, get to a game, I can watch them, and it's cool. It's been a great experience for me. It's gone by extremely fast for him. I'm happy for Coach Cutcliffe and what they've been able to do at Duke, and then, so when you come to a place like Purdue, and I've seen this for the last 3 years, it's kind of at Duke, it's attainable. You can get it done, and it starts with those kids believing. I mean, my son, I live with him, and I understand just the mindset of those kids, and they start to believe, and now, when they get in a tough bind, they figure out a way to get it done. So, I'm happy for him. This will be his last one, and unfortunately, I won't be able to kind of see him a little easier, but we'll get a chance whenever possible to get to a game and things like that.
Maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say bye weeks.
That's what I was thinking. Your bye week's like the 3rd week of the year, so it's not going to match up with like a senior.
It might not match up, but we'll make it work. And if not, maybe once we go to our bowl game, then we'll go to his bowl game, and it'll all work out. Yes.
There you go.
They can work that out for you.
There you
I think
go.
it'd be perfect. a Duke education, that's a great, like a Purdue education, that's a great thing to sell. What was it? I mean, when you had that opportunity to coach against them, that had to be, you said it was a great experience, but is it a Twilight Zone experience? I mean, in terms of, you're watching them play, and this is your own flesh and blood out there. I mean, how do you reconcile that?
Well, it was tough because I wanted to win the game.
Yeah.
It was actually my birthday. And,
Really?
Yeah, it was my birthday. It was home, and we obviously I wanted us to win, but I wanted him to do well.
Yeah.
And what's neat about that whole experience in the summers, he's working out with our guys at Syracuse. So it was almost like they were going against their brother. So it was a lot of different dynamics going on. But it was fun. It rarely ever happens.
Yeah.
Normally your kid is on the same team that you're on, but you don't ever get a
Yeah.
chance to compete against your kid. So that was an unusual one. But it was a great time, and it was something I'll cherish forever.
I had to look up in my notes to see who won.
Yeah, they beat us.
Yeah.
They beat us. Yeah.
Make sure he mentions
I think
that
I
every
saw
so
Oh,
often.
absolutely. He absolutely. Well, he wouldn't be a Smith if he did not let me know that they won that game.
It's all about competition
Yes.
in the family. Okay, time for one more question. Anything else that you want to
I just have a random one, just because I'm curious what it was like to play in France.
You know what? It was very, very. I had a great time. The thing that was interesting, I had to call all my plays in French, so I had to say my numbers in color. So I had to learn that. And but it was a neat experience, and that's what they sold the whole opportunity to go over there. Is that hey, you get a chance to see a different part of the world. And I was at the tip of the French Riviera, a place called Aix, and right below Marseille. And at that time, the Dream Team was there, the original Dream Team. So I got a chance to see them in Saint-Tropez. So I always can, fancy myself as an international guy because of that.
Oh, man, that sounds like an awesome experience, just that opportunity to be there at that time and have that not only on your resume, but on your life's experience.
No question.
Well, we're going to look forward to getting to know you better in the weeks and months and years to come, and obviously March the 8th will be here before you know it, to start of spring ball. That'll be an exciting time for all of us to watch the 2016 Purdue football team begin to take shape. Coach, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it. We'll look forward to doing that again and down the road. And we will have that opportunity, I'm sure, often as we get to looking ahead to the 2016 season. Okay, we're going to take a 2-minute break, bring Brian Newberg back. Jerry Palm will be calling in. We'll be talking bracketology. And you got Syracuse, Duke, all these teams that are perennial
Right,
titles.
there you go.
Purdue just might be right there this year as
No
well. So
question.
we'll look forward to doing that as well. 2-minute break. We'll be back on Golden Black Live.